To get up with Go Blue. Hail, hail to Michigan. We'll explain why the title they won last night might be the most unexpected of all time. Meanwhile, il y a grand problème in San Antonio. The big baguette bruised. We'll tell you why the timing of this injury could not be worse. And then Schrager has got a mock that once and for all answers Tina Turner's legendary question, what's love got to do with it? All that and more as we get up with you right now. Here we go. That was pretty well done.
Very well.
We tried something a little different there, and we're excited and proud of ourselves. Congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. We got a squad ready for you today in Phoenix, up early this morning. We got Uncle Seth, no relation. We got Sean Farnham. Neek is ready to go. Let's show you the pictures. If you didn't stay up late last night, here's what you missed. It was Michigan and UConn for the national championship. Pick it up just under a minute left in the first half. Michigan had not been shooting it the entire game. Out on the break, Lendenborg, no. Roddy Gale, yes. For the putback poster slam for Gale, Michigan, a 4-point halftime lead. So we're tight throughout. Early second half, that lead is still 4. Elliot Cadeau, critical moment in the game here. Not only does he take it for the hoop and the harm, but it's also Solo Ball's 4th foul. Michigan by 6. And then it's Cadeau knocking one down. Michigan had been 0 for 10 from 3 before that one goes. Wolverines by 11, 8 minutes to go. It's Mara inside. Just too big. Dan Hurley says there's nothing we can do with that. Michigan up 7, 3 minutes to go. UConn down by 9, not give it up. Alex Caravan, what a career he had. That 3 cuts it to 6, but in the end, it was just too much Michigan, too much depth. Trey McKinney, the dagger 3. They're going crazy at Chrysler. To the winners go the spoils. Sadness on one side and elation on the other as Michigan wins the national title. Afterwards, hail to the victors.
Well, if you told me we would shoot it this poorly, get dominated on the glass, and still find a way to win, I don't know if I would have believed you. But this team's just found a way all season.
How did they find a way? What is it about this team?
I love, respect, and trust amongst themselves.
What will be the lasting memory about this unit?
Just the unselfishness that everybody has. Nobody cared about stats the whole season. Nobody cared about nothing but winning. I'm just glad to be a part of that.
So Michigan caps off an historic tournament with its 2nd national championship in program history. The first, the legendary Steve Fisher Michigan man team in 1989. Wolverines snap a streak of 4 straight losses in national championship games that was tied for the longest such streak of all time. And again, my Uncle Seth is up with us early this morning, along with Sean Farnham. So, Seth, how did they do it? This is a team that 2 years ago was 8-24, and last night they were cutting down the ultimate Nets. How did this happen?
They dominated the game at the rim. They dominated the game in the paint. They dominated the game defensively. I mean, this was a defensive win. They switched at 1 through 5. They pushed UConn away from the basket. When they got into the rim, they were met with force. And when I say force, it was impossible to get into the paint. The size, the length, the athleticism, the physicality of this Michigan defense was just absolutely devastating. Your ability to defend the paint and defend the 3 is so important, and it's exactly what they did. And then offensively, they got the shot from who they wanted, from when they wanted. It wasn't pretty, but the physicality, athleticism, and length dominated this basketball game.
Farnham, how'd they get it done?
Well, I mean, I agree with Coach. I think, but they kept true to who their identity was. They didn't panic when those shots weren't going down, in particular in the first half. You look at this Michigan team over the course of this NCAA tournament, they were averaging about 60 points per game from the paint and the free throw line. They got 61 points yesterday. That's 88% of their points came from those 2 areas on the floor. And then you had guys like Trey McKinney step up off the bench. And what a job he did contributing with 9 points, 8 rebounds. He got a couple of huge rebounds, and of course that dagger 3. And it's understanding your roles, how you have to operate within them. And to Coach's point, too, I mean, when you make life difficult for your opponent at the offensive end of the floor, and UConn runs some of the best action in all of college basketball, and they were disrupted because of that length, because of the switchability of which Michigan brought, and, of course, getting the Huskies into foul trouble, that was also a big-time key to their win.
To the game last night?
Greeny,
Yes, go ahead, Seth.
Yeah, just think about it. Like, they played the first 5 games in the NCAA tournament, averaged 95 points a game.
Yeah.
They played 5 games like they were guarantee games. Like, those schools should get an NCAA check, another $150,000 as a guarantee game. But they also played in a half court yesterday and won the game that way as well. The versatility was impressive.
Let's go bigger picture for me, though, Seth. Again, they were 8-24 2 years ago. Michigan basketball has had highs and lows. It felt like they were sort of in the afterthought category. And Dusty May shows up, and here they are last night. How'd that happen?
He hit a home run in the portal. Every single guy that started that game came through the portal. All 5 guys, and some of them came with scars, but his ability, and you heard Elliot Cadeau say it, to buy into each other, to trust each other, to embrace what they do well, to respect each other. Every single one of those guys, like Mara, he came from UCLA. He was a part-time starter. He was absolutely magnificent. Elliot Cadeau, he had scars at North Carolina. People wanted him out. He was the most outstanding player. Morris Johnson was hurt a year ago. He was dominating in the paint. If you look at their roster, whether it was Burnett and the toughness and the physicality that he brought, you look at their roster and you say, here's 5 guys that came together for a common goal. It sounds cliche-ish, but it isn't, because Dusty May's ability to communicate and get those guys to respect, trust, and be connected was absolutely a master class in coaching.
And here's what I would say, too, about what Dusty was able to do is you take a look at our game in college basketball. In the last couple of years, we've had Coach K, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim, Leonard Hamilton, Tony Bennett, Jay Wright, Bruce Pearl, all leave the sideline. And they say, okay, who's the next grouping? Well, Dan Hurley's been part of that, right? Todd Golden won the championship last year. Now you add Dusty May to it. You add John Shire, what he's done at Duke. You look at Tommy Lloyd and what he's done at Arizona. Our game, we have that next collection of great coaches that are on their path at significant universities that are going to continue to lead in this space. And Dusty May, obviously, now second Final Four that he's been a part of. First time he's finished it off with a national championship. And as long as he's on the sideline at Michigan, I don't see the Wolverines going very far.
All right, stay close, guys, because a little later I want to get into what that means in the bigger picture for college basketball, the point that Seth made. 5 guys in the portal, they win the national championship. Is this what we should be expecting?
For the most wins in Big Ten history. The 37 also tied for the second most in a season by a team that won it all. Here's Dusty May on his championship squad.
These guys obviously have a lot of individual talent, and they gave to the group, and they showed love to each other throughout, publicly, privately, and it was authentic and just a really, really special group.
How much did the officiating change the game tonight?
This guy. I mean, is there fine? I mean, what I know about fines, is there
a fine for Zach?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to ref that game. We both played so hard. I mean, that's not an easy, game to officiate. And if I could have those 3 guys ref, every game the rest of my career, I would sleep well at night.
Huh, Danny Hurley. Saying nice things about refs. Didn't see that one on my bingo card today. Always nice having Sean Farnham join us now from Indy, where he watched Michigan get the victory last night. Sean, in your estimation, what was the biggest factor in the Wolverines pulling this off?
The ability to dominate the paint at both ends of the floor. I think the length of Michigan was so disruptive. There were so many times that UConn had what looked and appeared to be good looks around the basket, and then there'd be a block shot because the rotations were so crisp along that back line, Johnson and Mara. And then at the offensive end of the floor, you guys highlighted the point that they struggled from beyond the arc. But they did exactly what they've done throughout the course of this NCAA tournament. That's get more than 60 points per game from the paint and the free throw line. 88% of their points in the championship game came from those 2 areas, 61 of the 69. On the course of this tournament, they averaged just barely over 60 points per game from the paint and the free throw line. So they kept true to their identity. They did not panic even when they were not making the 3-point shots, and that's the reason why they're national champions.
Yeah, and their head coach, Dusty May, deserves all the props. You look at this Michigan program, just 2 seasons ago, they netted just 8 wins. Now you look at them, 37 wins, national championship. So that turnaround certainly needs to be put into perspective. What do you say about it, Sean?
Well, what I say about it is over the last couple of years of college basketball, we have often talked about the coaches that have retired or left the game, some early, some aged out of the game. We Coach K, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim, Jay Wright, Tony Bennett, Bruce Pearl, just some of the great legends on the sideline. And we said, who's going to be the next leaders of our game? Well, Dan Hurley already cemented himself as one, but here's now Dusty May saying, what about my name? And he's done just a tremendous job. We go back to Florida Atlantic, and then to make this transition over to Michigan now, and in year 2, take them all the way to the top of the mountain, add in John Shire, add in Tommy Lloyd, add in last year's national champion in Todd Golden. The game of college basketball is in great hands with a new crop of younger coaches that are in significant programs and ready to lead for a long time. And as long as Dusty May is on the sideline at Michigan, I think Michigan's going to be a team we continually talk about in the national picture and the national landscape.
Yeah, he coaches his best in the biggest moments. May 12-3 in the NCAA tournament. That is the most wins